Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the New York City Council hearing on the Subcommittee on Landmarks, Public Sightings, Resiliency, and Dispositions. At this time, please silence all electronics and do not approach the dais. Chair, you may begin.
Good morning. Welcome to the meeting of the Subcommittee on Landmarks, Public Siting, Resiliency, and Disposition. I'm Councilmember Christopher Marte. I'm the chair of the subcommittee. I am joined today by my colleague, Councilmember Thomas Henry. Before we begin today's agenda, I'll remind everyone that this meeting is being held in a hybrid format. For members of the public who wish to testify remotely, we ask that you first register online, and you may do so now by visiting www.council.nyc.gov/landuse to sign up, and then sign into the Zoom and remain signed in until you have testified. For anyone with us today in person and wishing to testify, if you have not already done so, please see one of our Sergeant at Arms to fill out a speaker card, and we'll call your name at the appropriate time. For anyone wishing to submit written testimony on the items being heard today, we ask that you please send an email to landuse.testimony@council.nyc.gov, including the LU number and/or project name in the subject line for your email. Video and audio testimonies will not be accepted. I remind members of the public that this is a governmental proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent unless and until called to testify. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recording as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the sergeant for inclusion in the hearing record. On today's agenda, we have a hearing on LU number 36 and 37, the DEP Newtown Creek CSO tunnel, and LU 35 for the 1727 Amsterdam Avenue Hilltop Apartments project. Before we begin, I would note that two applications originally noticed in the city record for today's hearing, the Flushing Creek CSO disinfection facility, application number C2503223 MMQ and C25034 PCQ, were not called up by the council and will not be heard. I now open a public hearing for LUs number 36 and 37, DEP Newtown Creek a CSO tunnel, an application by the Department of Environmental Protection and DCAS for site selection and acquisition of property for a new combined sewer overflow retention system in Queens and Brooklyn across 4 council districts. The districts of the council members Wong, Ressler, and Gutierrez. Appearing today from New York Department of Environmental Protection on this panel is Tara Deegan, Kate Eden, and Tara Estison. Perfect. Those wishing to testify remotely must register online by visiting the council website at council.nyc.gov/landuse. Panelists, please ensure that your microphones are on. You may approach the table. Council, would you please administer the affirmation?
Panelists, would you please raise your right hand and state your name for the record?
Kate Eden.
Make sure the mics are on. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this subcommittee and in answer to all council member questions?
I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, applicant panelists. For the viewing public, if you need an accessible version of this presentation, please send an email request to landuse@council.nyc.gov. Now the applicant team may begin.
Hi, my name is Tara Deegan. I am a senior advisor for government relations and community affairs for DEP. And I just wanted to kick it off before I turn it over to my colleagues. But thank you to the subcommittee for having us speak with you today on this important project. I'm joined today by Terrell Estison, who is with our Bureau of Sustainability, and Kate Eden, who is with our Bureau of Engineering, Design, and Construction. And we are happy to be here today. This is a pretty monumental project. It's $3 billion of investment, and the amount of pollution we will be preventing from getting into Newtown Creek is actually enormous and significant. So thank you for having us. I do want to give a quick shout out to Councilmember Ressler. He worked so hard with us on this project to refine it and enhance it, and I think we're getting a better product out of it. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you to him as well. I know he's not here, but I'm going to kick it over to my team to talk about a little bit of an overview of the project and then our land use application.
Thank you. So I'm going to start. You can go to the next slide. So my name is Kate Eden. I'm the project manager from the Bureau of Engineering, Design, and Construction. As Tara mentioned, I'm here with Tara today from Bureau of Public Affairs and Communication, and Terrell from the Bureau of Environmental Planning and Analysis. We're going to give you...
You can move the mic.
Sure, yeah. So we're going to start with a project background. We'll describe the scope of the project, and then Terrell will walk you through the land use actions. So here you can see a satellite image of New York City on the left with the Newtown Creek area highlighted. Newtown Creek lies at the border between Brooklyn and Queens. This project includes construction at several locations along the creek. We'll be walking through this a bit later, but the plan to the right shows a map of the creek area with a red hatch showing the limits of our proposed land use actions. You can go to the next slide. So what is CSO, or combined sewer overflow? New York City, like many major cities, has a primarily combined sewer system or for stormwater and wastewater. This means that when it rains, and you can see this in the image on the right, showing conceptually how this looks underground, our sewer system can get overwhelmed by stormwater, sending combined flow to outfalls which discharge to our waterways. This project represents the city's largest effort to reduce combined sewer overflow from entering our waterways. You can go to the next slide. So this project was developed as part of the long-term control plan for Newtown Creek. Long-term control plans have been developed for each of New York City's waterways, looking at the best solutions for improving water quality. For Newtown Creek, the proposed solution is a storage tunnel. Newtown Creek is also a Superfund site, with the proposed tunnel approved as a response to the CSO contamination in the creek. The proposed tunnel is over 3 miles long. It's collecting flow from 4 locations along the creek and will hold 50 million gallons of CSO. This will divert over 70% of the CSO entering the creek, a significant improvement over existing conditions and a better rate of capture than what was required under the long-term control plan. We're currently in design and have a consent order milestone to complete the construction by the end of 2040. You can go to the next slide. So the tunnel will divert overflow from 4 major outfalls along the creek. In this image, you can see conceptually how these underground structures will be configured. Ahead of the outfall, we'll be constructing a diversion chamber, which will divert this flow to a drop shaft, sending the flow deeper underground to a tunnel. After a storm event, the tunnel will be pumped out by the tunnel dewatering pump station, sending the flow via a new sewer to the nearby Newtown Creek wastewater resource recovery facility for treatment. The tunnel and diversion facilities will be fully underground, with the tunnel, which is approximately 80 to 120 feet below ground, being constructed utilizing a tunnel boring machine, or TBM. Go to the next slide. So on this slide and the next, you'll be able to see the land use surrounding each of our project construction sites. These are primarily manufacturing with some commercial use. All of these sites fall within an IBZ, or industrial business zone. Here we can see 3 of the diversion facility sites. And if you go to the next slide, you can see the 4th diversion facility site and the site of the tunnel dewatering pump station, which will also serve as the base for tunneling operations. I'm now going to pass over the presentation to Terrell, who will walk us through the proposed land use actions.
Thank you very much. Next slide. So we have two land use actions to support the project, site selection and acquisition, as well as site selection. These are needed to allow DEP to site infrastructure and acquire property interests as needed for the project. Next slide. Being more than 3 miles long, the project would cross many properties. There are 99 properties in the ULURP applications. These are in the area shown in orange on the figure. We won't need all 99, however, we included the maximum potential number of properties in areas where there was any uncertainty caused by crossing major infrastructure. Of the 99 properties, only 4 are going to be fee simple acquisitions. We'll show those in the coming slides. 9 are properties already owned by the city, only requiring site selection. Another 3 lots at the BB26 site only require surface easements. 2 lots would have the tunnel easement as well as surface work. The vast majority, though, the remaining 81 sites, would only have a subsurface tunnel easement. I want to mention the outreach that we've done beyond the long-term control plan that we did to choose and then accelerate and enlarge the tunnel. We had a EIS scoping meeting last March, and then before ULURP began, we sent letters to all affected property owners informing them about the project, including, for areas where the alignment was confirmed, a figure showing the location of the easement. That letter included contact information for any questions. We also notified affected property owners of community board, borough board, and city planning commissions as required for ULURP. Next slide. This slide shows the tunnel easement configuration. The easement would basically be in the shape of a rectangle below ground with 2 zones. In the lower zone, or exclusive subterranean easement zone, no work would be allowed. In the upper zone, or non-exclusive subterranean easement zone, work would be allowed subject to DEP review and approval. So for properties with a tunnel easement, there'd be no restrictions for work at the surface or above grade, or to subgrade work for a varying depth up to 75 feet. Next slide. Now we'll talk through the sites where there would be surface work. The first and largest site is where we would do the tunnel dewatering pump station, shown on the right. This is currently city-owned land, and it is the former Greenpoint Marine Transfer Station site. We would launch the tunnel boring machine from here, and when tunneling is done, build the pump station to dewater the tunnel after a rain event. Next slide. This slide shows the site of the BB26 diversion facility, which would divert flows from Dutch Kills. There's an existing DEP outfall here, but we would amend the easement to allow a structure to divert flow towards the tunnel. 1 lot, 56, is privately owned, while 2 lots, 86 and 150, are part of the MTA master lease with the city. After construction, the surface use would return to the owners. Next slide. Continuing along the alignment, we get to the NCQ 77 shaft, which would intercept flows to Maspeth Creek. The large lot shown in orange, lot 26, is already owned by DEP. The 2 lots in green, lots 225 and 240, are privately owned and would be acquired. These lots are presently used for truck parking and storage by an area business. Next slide. Here we see the NCB 83 site, which would intercept flows to East Branch. This site involves the full acquisition of lot 85, shown in green, as well as a temporary easement on lot 13 for construction. Lot 85 is a warehouse site currently leased to a variety of businesses. Next slide. And this slide shows the last site, NCB 15, which would intercept flows to English Kills. The lot shown in green, lot 170, would be acquired. It's currently a warehouse leased to FedEx for trucking. There is an existing outfall on lot 162, which is and would remain part of the MTA master lease with the city. Next slide. This shows where we are in the ULURP process. The applications were certified on September 15th, and we've received favorable or conditional favorable recommendations from Community Boards Brooklyn 1, Queens 2, and Queens 5, and Brooklyn and Queensborough presidents, the Queensborough Board, and we received approval from the City Planning Commission. Next slide. This slide shows the overall project schedule. We would begin acquisition following ULURP. The construction would be done in 3 contracts. The first for site prep at the tunnel launch site, the second for the construction of the tunnel and diversion facilities, and the third to build the tunnel dewatering pump station. Overall construction would begin in 2028 and would be finished by the end of 2040. Next slide. With that, we'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
Thank you for your presentation. I want to recognize Councilmember Osei and Councilmember Felice online. I have a few questions in regards to the easement restriction being placed on some of the properties. For the properties requiring permanent subterranean easement, what long-term restrictions will property owners face with those easements in place?
Do you want to answer
I can
that?
answer it. Yeah. So the easement, as Terrell mentioned, is approximately 25 to 75 feet below ground. That's where that easement will begin. Above that and around that, there are no restrictions.
Okay.
The upper portion of the easement, what we're calling the non-exclusive zone, development would be allowed, but DEP would like to review any plans for development within that area. And then directly around the easement in the lower portion, we're saying no development directly adjacent to the tunnel to protect the structural integrity of the tunnel.
Okay. How does DEP ensure fair compensation for the owners whose properties will be encumbered by permanent easement?
Sure. So DCAS is managing our property acquisition for this. To start, we've reached out to each owner and requested a donation of these easements. If each owner feels that there is a justification for value of this area, which is well below most structural piles for any type of structure that they would want to construct, they can negotiate that with DCAS and fair compensation will be provided.
To DEP's knowledge, how has those conversations have gone?
So we can't negotiate in earnest until ULURP is complete.
Okay.
So all we can do up until this point is let owners know that we're seeking this easement.
Okay.
Let them know we're interested in this. Let them know when ULURP will be done, and then we plan to do another set of outreach once we receive approval.
Sounds good. And I guess along those lines, what's the ongoing communication with affected owners during construction and long-term operation?
Sure. So we will have a community construction liaison. They're actually being brought on board soon, well ahead of construction, as part of a construction management team. DEP has a lot of experience doing work directly within even residential communities, so we'll follow a similar approach, outreaching to community ahead of any work that may impact them.
That's all the questions I have. Are any other council members have any questions for the panel? I know Councilmember Ressler does. I'll give him a minute to get ready.
Somebody sending me the presentation? Brian is? Okay, thank you. Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you to the DEP team for joining us today and for this presentation. I do want to just take a moment to say that I think DEP took impressive initiative here to update the long-term control plan. Nobody told you had to do this, and it was the right thing to do, and I think yields significant improvements to the previous long-term control plan. So I just want to commend our former Commissioner Ritt, Deputy Commissioner Licata, and of course the team here today, and want to thank them for their work. And we can hear the overflow room of whatever's happening in transportation right now. If anyone has opinions on the streets, on the master streets plan, you can go down the hall. So this project is an important step toward cleaning up Newtown Creek, and it doesn't happen overnight, but this, the DEP's commitment to expanding the tunnel capacity and decreasing the amount of untreated sewage entering this waterway is a major environmental priority for the Newtown Creek community, including my neighborhoods, Councilmember Gutierrez's neighborhoods, and even for the folks in Queens. Our community, that was a joke. Our communities in District 33 are especially prone to flooding, and we need ongoing significant commitments from DEP to expand green infrastructure, improve stormwater management investment, enhance stormwater management investments, and just reduce flooding risk and reduce sewer overflow into our combined sewage overflow into our waterway. I just want to get a few things on the record. Some of these things we've discussed in conversation previously, but I just think it's important for the purposes of the hearing. And I apologize, Chair Marte, for my tardiness, but we've heard from local businesses in our community in the industrial area who have concerns about how this tunnel could impact their businesses in the area in northern Greenpoint. What precautions will you be taking to ensure that tunnel construction does not adversely impact the foundations of existing buildings or the ability for future construction on these lots?
Sure. I'll start by saying that this is a significant construction project, and I think in our community board interactions, we're emphasizing this is a long project, a high dollar value project happening in a number of sites, and I think immediately it feels as though we're going to have this major impact on traffic and noise in the community. If you look at the details of our FEIS, which came out not that long ago, we are having an impact, but it's more because there's already existing traffic at these intersections. These are important, industrial manufacturing neighborhoods. There's a lot of truck traffic. The impacts that we're having are primarily construction workers going to work at our project sites. That's the major impact that we'll have. We can move around construction timelines a little bit, but I'm talking about start of workday, end of workday, but we're actually on a construction schedule. So we'll be up very early in the morning and we'll be done around 3 p.m. Those impacts, while showing up on an FEIS as seeming significant, are just part of a economic thing that's happening in that neighborhood. There'll be jobs, people going to work. However, we do take the community's concerns very seriously. We intend to have notifications provided anytime we'll be doing any work that would cause additional traffic disturbances or noise disturbances. I think
I think that I'm parochially responsible for what happens in District 33. I wish my colleagues in the adjacent districts luck in navigating this in their communities. But for us, particularly at the northern tip of Kingsland, we're going to have significant impacts as the sanitation facility is transitioned over to DEP, and there's a lot of work happening there. We have many important industrial businesses in immediate proximity to this site that are going to be heavily impacted by this project. So it's more than just kind of let's hope to mitigate noise and disturbances. We're going to need very tight communication and coordination. So there will be a full-time community construction liaison for this project?
Yes.
When do you expect that person to be in place?
Later this summer.
This summer.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to have a commitment that there's going to be proactive communication to the industrial businesses in the adjacent area, working with my office, working with Evergreen, to make sure that local stakeholders are fully aware of what's going on and that we're thinking collaboratively and creatively for how to mitigate issues.
Yes, absolutely. And we've heard from a lot of those folks, and we've had one-on-one interactions with them. We've provided opportunity to discuss how this may impact them, and we continue to maintain conversations with them.
And just going back to my earlier question on the impacts of tunnel construction on local businesses and ensuring that this tunnel construction does not adversely impact the foundations of existing buildings or the ability to build in the future on these lots.
Yes, absolutely. So we were talking about the location of the easements. These easements are below ground. They're below what most structural structures would be below a facility. They wouldn't prevent further development on that lot other than just within that corridor below ground. This project has a team that's constructed similar facilities in similar cities of similar density. I mean, New York is its own animal in some ways, but they understand the risks and the implications of doing work like this. We are doing our due diligence to collect all available information on all of these properties, and then they'll be monitoring during construction to absolutely ensure there'd be no negative impact to any structures, new or older.
And my understanding is that no anticipated impacts for the current zoning. This could impact our ability for future upzonings in areas where tunnels have been constructed. Is that true?
I don't know that it would. I think it would sort of need to be on a case by case basis to look at something like that. But we're talking about a swath of land below ground where we're asking you to not develop. And that would start approximately, 55 feet below ground at its shallowest, where there's absolutely no development within that zone, and about 60 feet across. So you could still construct a high-rise structure, any other kind of facility around that easement zone.
Great. And, we continue to be, just as I noted in my kind of opening remarks, profoundly concerned about flooding risks in our community. And just would love to hear a commitment that DEP is going to partner with my office to try to identify more green infrastructure opportunities, more projects that can help reduce flooding in our area.
Yeah, absolutely. So that might be Tara. Yeah.
I can speak to that. Of course, we're happy to do that. We're already looking at several sites in your district that you had mentioned. And I think there's some opportunity for sure there.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we would love to get some consequential updates on those fronts as this project moves forward, just to understand where things are at. And I want to say in closing, I reached out to DEC to push for approval on this long-term control plan on their side, because I think what you all have done is the right thing to do. And, we should be looking for leadership in our agencies to be creative, to push for more ambitious solutions. This plan will significantly reduce the anticipated combined sewage overflow that's going into Newtown Creek, and I think reduce negative impacts that would have happened in our communities under the previous plan. So on both fronts, this feels like a very positive development. We'll always try to identify ways to do things even better and be more ambitious and make sure that the coordination and consultation with our community is done the right way. But I'm broadly pleased with the work the DEP has done here, and grateful for your testimony today and for moving forward with this update to the long-term control plan.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Marte.
Thank you, Councilmember. Up next, we have Councilmember Phil Wong with a few questions.
Yes, hi. Thank you, Chair. It's my understanding that the tunnel boring machines will be used,
That's correct.
right? And can you talk about the vibrations that, like, how far can you hear it? How many hours a day you'll be doing that during the
So,
construction?
yeah, sure. So because this is at this point between 80 and 120 feet below ground, we don't anticipate any, the ability to perceive what we're doing below ground. However, we will have monitoring in place, vibrational monitoring on any structure that we deem potentially in danger of, not structurally sound. But we'll also have monitoring to just measure any settlement that may occur during the boring of the tunnel. The tunnel will be bored 24 hours a day, but in cycles. So the work will be going on all the time, but during some times the tunnel will be boring, and then sometimes it'll be removing the soil that's coming out.
On a related question, the TBM will be lower somewhere, right? Where will get lower and get assembled?
Sure. So at the tunnel dewatering pump station site, as we're referring to it, it's the former DSNY Marine Transfer Station adjacent to the Newtown Creek Wastewater Resource Recovery Facility. That will be the base for tunneling operations. The TBM will be brought down in a shaft and constructed below ground. And all tunnel, we call it tunnel muck, but any rock, soil that's removed will be removed out through that site.
At the end of the project, the TBM will be like left there, right? You're not going to recover it.
We may recover it. Yeah, it often depends on what the contractor would like to do with that piece
Okay,
of equipment.
thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions from council members? I have a statement from Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez, who couldn't be here today, so I'm just going to read it. My name is Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez, and I represent District 34, which is home to a large portion of the Newtown Creek and the third largest industrial business zone in the city. For more than a century, Newtown Creek has served as one of New York City's working waterfronts, supporting manufacturing businesses, cargo transportation, energy infrastructure, and thousands of industrial jobs concentrated within our IBZ. The creek continues to power economic activity that many New Yorkers rely on. At the same time, the community surrounding Newtown Creek has lived alongside the environmental impacts of this industrial past. Newtown Creek is home to multiple Superfund sites designated by the EPA and is undergoing multiple cleanups. But in addition to that, much of the District 34 is served by a combined sewer system where stormwater and wastewater share the same pipes. During the periods of heavy rainfall, these systems can exceed capacity, and the SS flow is released into waterways like Newtown Creek through waters known as combined sewer overflow, CSOs. While these are intended to prevent backups within the sewer system, they result in untreated wastewater entering the creek, affecting the water quality, ecological health, and ongoing efforts to restore this historically overburdened waterway. The Newtown Creek CSO tunnel proposal represents a significant and long overdue investment aimed at capturing and storing excess stormwater and wastewater during heavy rainfall, reducing the frequency of this discharge and improving environmental conditions along the creek. Following conversations with the Department of Environmental Protection and the feedback from Community Board 1 in Brooklyn and Queens Community Board 5, it is my understanding that impacted property owner will receive required legal notice, individualized outreach, and compensation where subsurface easements are necessary. However, meeting legal requirements alone is not enough. Property owners and businesses deserve proactive outreach, transparency, and consistent communication throughout every stage of this project, particularly within the IBZ, where operations depend on predictability and coordination. As this application moves through ULURP, I remain focused on ensuring District 34 stakeholders, as well as members of Brooklyn Community Board 1 and Queens Community Board 5, are kept informed and meaningfully engaged throughout this process. Infrastructure investment along Newtown Creek should reflect the needs and realities of the communities that live and work here, and I would continue to advocate to ensure that this project delivers lasting benefits for our district. No questions, just a statement. I guess now, thank you for being here. This panel is now excused.
Thank you.
Council, are there any members of the public who wish to testify on this item?
We have one that I have, so if you don't hear your name, please let a sergeant know.
We have Tanya Obrero. Yes, okay. You may begin. I think you have to press the button. There you
Hi,
go.
my name is Tanya Obroy. I represent Rom Realty, one of the companies on the corridor for Newtown Creek. We actually have interests on both sides of the creek, and we are a private company and have been working there for a very long time. We support this project. We just wanted to bring up some of our concerns, some of which and I have spoken several times in the meetings. We would like to bring to everyone's attention that we're looking for some assurances while this project is a long-term project and they're going under our property on two different sides. We want to make sure that the DP is, they're not as transparent as we would like. Someone from the local community, I'm very happy to hear. This is my first time hearing that there is a community construction liaison, so at least we have a go-to person that can answer questions. The DEP can't answer our emails without legal, so I was happy when we got the email with the FEIS. But we want to make sure that they're able to give us assurances that when they're digging under the properties, that they're able to with the planning that they've made and the map and the direction that they've done, that it's going to be safe, and that they're not going to have any derailments on building structures and having to stop or pause any parts of the project that's going to further delay it, because this is a long 11-year project, and our property is located right next to the John Byrne Bridge, so we're right at the heart of where it is, where all the servicemen and women are going to be, and any kind of delay is just going to add more congestion and more time to the project. So we're looking to make sure that they're able to collect that data and even share it, so we have assurances that the project is safe and that it's going to go positively in the timeline that they've submitted. We also want to make sure that they're able to give us better notifications. There are many meetings that we missed because we got the letter after. I know that they have timelines that, oh, we did it. We have 10 days to send that letter out, and we sent it on time, but we, as someone in the community, we did not receive it. There's no centralized place to go to get that information. The boring logs, we also want to make sure that the sound vibration is correct. We also have an issue with the insurances that we got today saying that we are able to build under our buildings because we didn't get the boring logs that we requested. We don't know if it's soil or what the quality is that's under the building. They can also, you can build one floor. What if you want to build 10 floors? So we have a lot of questions that haven't been answered yet because we don't know who would get us those answers. So it's very unclear as someone part of the community where to get some of this information from. But we do believe that this is overall a good project and it is needed. There's just a lot of questions that a lot of uncertainty that we have regarding some of the details on this project.
Great, thank you for that. And
Thank you.
I just a few questions. Which council district are your properties located in?
CB2,
Long
Long Island City.
Island, so Julie Wan's district?
Yes.
Have you reached out to the council member?
Oh, we did.
Okay,
We
great.
did.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the questions that you brought up are extremely valid and they should be responsive to those questions.
But they're the ones that would answer these questions for us?
No, just to make sure that we know who the point person is if DEP is not answering your questions in an
Got
appropriate time.
it. Okay, thank you.
Do other council members have any questions? Yeah, you may be dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. What was your name?
So we have Maggie McDonald.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Hey,
Sorry.
You may begin.
Thanks so much. My name is Maggie McDonald. I represent multiple property owners impacted by the proposed CSO tunnel. I'm a partner at Sive Paget and Rizal, which is an environmental law firm in New York. The comments we've submitted to DEP and the City Planning Commission to date highlight some serious concerns that the construction of the project will create new problems in its current form. We have three chief concerns, some that Councilmember Ressler discussed, and we had submitted copies of our correspondence to his office as well. First, DEP has failed to provide public notice. That's something that Tanya just mentioned as well. Basically, at every step of the process, every public hearing I've attended has been filled with people who found out about the hearing by chance, not through the legally required notice provisions in Title 62, Section 203C4. In multiple letters to DEP and City Planning, we flagged specific property owners who did not receive notice at the correct address and multiple property owners who received notices of hearings after the hearing had concluded, like Tanya. Indeed, we are not aware of any property owners who received notice of this hearing, which is a little concerning, and I'm here only because of my own diligence and the diligence of other concerned parties that knew I was interested in tracking this project. We just find that unacceptable for a monumental project of this nature. Second, we're concerned that, as described in the FEIS, only a preliminary assessment of subsurface structures in the path of the tunnel has been completed to date. The successful construction of the project requires that easements are acquired in areas that are free of obstructions to ensure the safety of existing buildings and construction workers, for that matter. We provided multiple examples of properties where 90 to 100-foot pilings are required for building construction, and noted that for one of the properties that our client owns, the publicly available documents that were reviewed as part of this preliminary assessment don't date back to the time the building was constructed. So the geotechnical information about the needed depth of pilings going down deeper is the sort of circumstantial evidence that you would rely on to know that the tunnel will, in that location, impact the building structures. And then my last point, I'll be very quick, is just that because of that failure, that it's likely the project will have to be realigned if the DEP, which they've committed to us over the phone, is not going to impact existing buildings. And then that means that the scope of the project and the sites that are required for selection have not been identified yet. So we think there's a little bit more preliminary work that needs to be done, more than just a preliminary assessment of publicly available records to know that this project will be safe and constructible.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
If there are any remote public participants who wish to testify and have not already done so, please press raise hand button now. And if you are here in person, please see one of the Sergeant of Arms to first fill out a speaker card. There being no other members of the public who wish to testify regarding LUs number 36 and 37 for DEP Newtown Creek CSO tunnel, the public hearing is now closed and the items are laid over. Thank you. I now open the public hearing for LU 35 for 1727 Amsterdam Avenue Hilltop Apartments, an application by HPD for the designation of an Urban Development Action Area and an Urban Development Action Area project, and for the disposition of property to a developer to be selected by HPD for property located in Manhattan, Majority Leader's Abreu's district. This action will facilitate the development of a new 9-story mixed-use 100% affordable housing building with 200 dwelling units consisting of both supportive and affordable housing units together with a community facility space. Before we begin, I would like to read a statement by Majority Leader Abreu, who couldn't be here because he is chairing his own committee, Committee on Transportation on the Street Master Plan. And so I'm going to share his statement on his behalf. 1727 Amsterdam Avenue sits in a neighborhood under intense pressure. Rents have climbed, families have been pushed out, seniors are holding on month to month. How we treat public land here will determine who has a place in this community going forward. The proposal under consideration would create permanently affordable housing, including supportive housing and senior units, and a new facility for a mental health services organization that was previously operating on site. The broader context matters. West Harlem is facing a housing affordability crisis. Furthermore, thousands of New Yorkers remain in shelters or cycle through hospitals and unstable housing because of the lack of permanent homes. These circumstances require action neighborhood-wide, well beyond the scope of this project. We welcome and appreciate everyone who has weighed in with ideas to shape this project as part of the many, many conversations about this proposal over the last few years. We also acknowledge that there has been a coordinated effort among some to portray supportive and low-income housing as a danger to this neighborhood. That narrative is false. It trades in fear and ignores evidence. Supportive housing, when properly resourced and operated, stabilizes people who would otherwise remain in shelters or on the street. Affordable housing keeps working families from being displaced. The people who have lived here are not outsiders, and they do not deserve to be labeled with vile names they have been called since the project was first proposed. They are New Yorkers in need of stability, afraid of being pushed out of their neighborhood they call home. As we move towards a vote, we will evaluate whether affordable housing meaningfully addresses neighborhood needs, whether the supportive services are strong and fully funded, whether operations are transparent and accountable, and whether this project strengthens West Harlem for the long term. This is about the future of the neighborhood. It is about who gets to stay, who gets a second chance and how we use public land in the middle of a housing crisis. I look forward to reviewing the testimony given today, combined with the hundreds of conversations that I have had with our neighbors who are unable to speak up for themselves at City Hall on a rainy Tuesday morning. Again, that was a statement from Majority Leader Abreu, who couldn't be at today's committee hearing because he is chairing his own committee. Appearing today on this proposal is Melanie Rodrigo, Manhattan Borough Planner at HPD, Kyle Jeremiah, Director of External Affairs, Bowery Residents Committee, Nicole Clare, Chief Real Estate Development Officer of Bowery Residents Committee. Those wishing to testify remotely must register online by visiting council website at council.nyc.gov/landuse. Panelists, please ensure that your microphones are on when you speak. Council, would you please administer the affirmation?
Panelists, would you please raise your right hand and state your name for the record?
Melanie Rodrigo.
Nicole Clare.
Kyle Jeremiah.
And do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this subcommittee and in answer to all council member questions?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, applicant panelists. Thank you, applicant panelists, for the viewing public. If you need an accessible version of this presentation, please send an email request to landuse.testimony@council.nyc.gov. And now the applicant team may begin.
Great. Good morning, council members and Chair Marte. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Melanie Rodrigo. I'm from the Manhattan Planning Team here at HPD's Division of Planning and Pre-Development. I'm also joined by my director, Joy Reeser, and Justin Donlin, who is the Deputy Director of HPD's Division of Government Affairs, as well as development team of representatives working with us on the project, the Bowery Residents Committee, or BRC, and New York City Health and Hospitals, or H&H, who will introduce themselves throughout the presentation and Q&A. So we're excited to be here today for this milestone in ULURP to present 1727 Amsterdam Avenue Hilltop Apartments project. Next slide, please. So starting with the project overview, the proposed development will be constructed on a city-owned lot in Hamilton Heights, Community District 9, which is utilized as a community facility space. The applicant for the ULURP application is HPD, and BRC is the developer. The new 9-story mixed-use building proposed under the Hilltop Apartments project will include approximately 200 dwelling units for senior supportive, and low-income households, plus one additional superintendent's unit developed under HPD's Supportive Housing Loan Program, known as SHLP. And the proposed project will also include replacement community space for the Emma L. Bowen Community Service Center. And to facilitate the proposed project, HPD is proposing the following land use actions: designation of the project area as an urban development action area, and approval of an urban development action area project on the project area, and disposition of the development site. Next slide, please. And so here's a street view of the development site looking north along Amsterdam Avenue at the intersection of West 145th Street. The development site is adjacent to multiple historic districts and is also accessible via 145th subway station and multiple bus routes. Next slide. So moving to the project history. So this project is a result of H&H's Housing for Health initiative to connect healthcare and stable housing for patients experiencing homelessness to improve their health and well-being, which this development site has been managed by H&H since its construction. Alongside H&H's initiative, in 2019, HPD designated BRC to develop 1727 Amsterdam Avenue through HPD's supportive housing request for qualifications, recognizing BRC's strong track record delivering high-quality supportive housing in Manhattan and citywide. And since BRC's designation, BRC has worked closely with Emma L. Bowen Community Service Center and HPD, conducting outreach and refining the project to ensure it meets both neighborhood and service needs. And as of spring of 2024, H&H began amending their 1969 operating agreement to include 9 previously excluded healthcare properties, and council later in 2025 approved 8 of the 9. And so since 1727 Amsterdam site was not included, ULURP is required to facilitate the site's disposition under HPD's authority. The ULURP process began when the project certified on September 15th. And now I'll turn it over to Nicole and Kyle from BRC, who were part of the development team, to speak in more detail about the project. Next slide.
Good morning, council members. My name is Nicole Clare. I'm BRC's Chief Real Estate Development Officer. BRC is a not-for-profit organization founded in 1971. We are a housing developer and social service provider with over 50 years of experience. We currently own and operate over 1,100 units of permanent, supportive, and affordable housing in 4 boroughs of the city. And as Melanie mentioned, our track record is providing permanent, supportive, and affordable housing. We have a number of programs. Permanent housing represents roughly a third of our programs, but we take a client-centered approach. So we provide services to over 13,000 discrete individuals in over 30 programs throughout New York City. Our focus is on successful client and tenant outcomes. Specifically, when we talk about permanent housing, that looks like housing stability, meeting the individual personal goals of those tenants. We operate several Upper Manhattan programs, a range of programs, both transitional and permanent. Next slide, please. Thank you. At Hilltop Apartments, which is the redevelopment of this site at 1727 Amsterdam Avenue, it involves the demolition of the existing 50-year-old structure, as Melanie mentioned, that's currently used as community facility, managed by Health and Hospitals, to construct a new 9-story mixed-use affordable housing building. All of the residential units, 100% of those units, will be affordable to households earning up to 60% of area median income. We'll provide on-site social services for all housing tenants, which my colleague Kyle will talk a little more about. We'll have 24/7 staffing at the front desk, a well-lit exterior. In addition, we'll be providing 21,000 square feet of a new community facility space dedicated for the Emma L. Bowen Community Service Center, the mental health provider that Councilmember Abreu referenced. Building amenities will include both in our indoor and outdoor, including flexible community rooms, landscape courtyards, terraces, in order to connect our tenants to nature, and also opportunities for socialization, especially for seniors. The building will also have dedicated laundry facilities. The building itself will be energy efficient, all electric, including sustainability and resiliency measures such as solar panels, a generator, with an abundance of natural light. Next slide, please. In terms of affordability of those 200 residential apartments, to be clear, 199 will be rental units. Another 1 will be provided for the superintendent. 60% of those units will be set aside for formerly homeless households, referred through H&H, or mutual clients of Health and Hospitals, and also Department of Homeless Services. Another 17% will be set aside for households earning up to 40% of area median income. That translates to approximately, or roughly, $900 to $1,600 a month, depending on unit size. 23% of the units will be set aside for households earning up to 60% of area median income, which translates to roughly $1,400 to $2,400 a month. In addition, we'll be providing 48 units dedicated to seniors, 25 of which will be supportive units, the formerly homeless households, and another 23 in the 40% AMI tier. Next slide, please. To give you a little bit more detail of the community facility space provided for the Emma L. Bowen Community Service Center, this will require them relocating from the existing site, a process which just began, to a dedicated space purpose-built at West 135th Street, which the community board has toured. But more importantly, when we talk about their return to the building at 1727 Amsterdam, BRC's worked very closely with them for nearly 2 years to design a purpose-built new space with them, for them, to facilitate their program and meet their programming needs. So that will be spread across 3 stories of the building, the cellar, first and second floors, to allow them to continue to offer their current services in a more efficiently designed space at a comparable rental rate. So they will continue to provide those mental health services that they provide to both adults and children. Next, I'll turn it over to my colleague Kyle. Next slide, please.
Good morning, Chair Marte, members of the committee. My name is Kyle Jeremiah, Director of External Affairs for BRC. It's good to be here with you all this morning. I'll be discussing this project's impacts on the community. So Hilltop Apartments will go beyond just housing units. It will be a well-managed residential environment that will be governed by clear good neighbor standards, including defined quiet hours, managed outdoor spaces, on-site staffing, and rapid response protocols for quality of life concerns. Residents will be referred through New York City's coordinated entry system, as my colleague mentioned, with a focus on individuals coming from DHS and NYC Health and Hospitals. Supportive services are funded through the city's 1515 program and include case management, wraparound supports, and 24/7 staffing. So this model prioritizes stability, early intervention, and long-term housing success, benefiting residents while supporting a well-managed, predictable building environment for the surrounding community. The project will stimulate the local economy by generating approximately 250 construction jobs with a commitment to local hiring. Once operational, it will support up to 25 permanent full-time jobs on site, including roles in case management, operations, and maintenance. Our standard practice includes hosting local job fairs, targeting Community Board 9 residents, and offering workforce development opportunities. We will also provide housing lottery workshops and application support so residents in the district can access affordable units directly. Now we have the entire multi-agency team with us here today, and we're happy to address any questions that you have about the project.
Thank you. I have a few questions. The local community board had expressed concerns that the outreach of this application was insufficient. Could you describe the outreach conducted before the application was filed, as well as any communications with the community board during the ULURP process, and how many meetings have you had with the community?
Sure. We can pull up back on the PowerPoint, slide 12. It gives out to-date community outreach. This is before, it's pre-ULURP and also ULURP briefed meetings with the community board. 9.
So, and just to add to that, so we've also secured 10 letters of support from local organizations and groups in the community. Beyond that, we have hosted tours of BRC supportive housing programs to CB9 residents throughout the ULURP process. We extended invitations to continue giving tours to CB9 residents. Throughout the project construction, we will continue our ongoing engagement in keeping with our good neighbor policy. I think on slide number 14, we outlined the number of times we've met with the community board. We've met with them 11 times before and during the ULURP process. We've responded to some of their specific concerns. You know, they wanted to deepen affordability. We've been able to do that. We've added more 40% AMI units overall by decreasing the number of 60% AMI units. We've even worked with the community board to really create a bit of an FAQ to dispel some of the misconceptions about supportive housing and what that exactly means. As I mentioned, we've given tours to CB9 members. And HPD has also issued a tech memo with an updated environmental analysis.
Okay. Quick question, and thank you for keeping it on this chart. You know, I see the breakdowns between studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. Are they going to be dispersed around the building, or is it going to be sectioned off where some of the studios are going to be on certain floors and the bigger apartment's going to be in another floor with other facilities?
No, that's correct, that they're interspersed on every floor. So there'll be, every floor will have studios, 1s and 2s, typically, and 3 bedroom apartments. Typically, the studios are in the middle, just on a typical floor plate, with the 1s, 2s, and 3s sort of at the edge. But every floor will have it, and sort of lines is how affordable housing is developed.
Yeah, and because this development has part of it as a supportive housing program, would all residents have access to that supportive program, or only the ones that are designated as
Yeah,
part
that
of it?
means, so when we talk about supportive services, that means we have on-site staff who, as Kyle mentioned, are funded by the city's 1515 program. We also have a state operating grant through eShy. So we have on-site staff who meet with tenants. They obviously have a caseload associated with the supportive clients, but they provide services to all of the tenants in the building. So that can be tenants who might be in the other units, who may have children, if they want to provide, access to connecting them to services in the neighborhood, if they need after-school help, connection with the schools, those kinds of things. So to answer your question, they do provide services to all the tenants in the building.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Sure.
The community board also raised questions about why BRC was chosen. Can you explain the process and the criteria that led to that selection?
Sure. So HPD designated BRC through what we call the supportive, sorry, give me 1 second. It's the request for qualifications. Yes, sorry. So it's the supportive housing request for qualifications, and that again is a proposal. Calls out developers with expertise in supportive housing, and so BRC was chosen off that list based on their strong track record in delivering high quality supportive housing.
Okay. Health and Hospital Corporations has been creating more housing on its properties in recent years. Can you explain the reasoning behind this initiative and the benefits or challenges that poses to these new residents? Okay.
Would you please raise your right hand and state your name for the record?
Deborah Morris.
And do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this subcommittee and in answer to all council member questions?
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. I'm Deborah Morris, Senior Director for Land Use and Real Estate and Planning at New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation. New York City Health and Hospitals has, as one of our system pillars, a Housing for Health initiative to connect homeless patients to permanent housing. We accomplish this in several ways. This includes case management and placement services, working with HRA on supportive housing applications and approvals, prioritizing vulnerable patients for DHS, with DHS for housing, and with client referrals. We also develop housing on our land. Over the last decade, we have developed over 10 projects, and we have several underway. Just as a point of fact, in 2025, Health and Hospitals had over 71,000 patients who were experiencing homelessness, of which more than half were mutual clients with Department of Homeless Services.
Thank you for that response. I have a few questions from Majority Leader Councilmember Abreu. As I said previously, he can't be with us today because he's chairing his own hearing. The first question he has is this project a shelter?
No. So, yeah, to clarify, this is supportive housing, which is permanent affordable housing. And so it's not a shelter, it's not a transitional housing as well. So,
How does this project address health-related needs?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think you mentioned this a little bit, but how does this project address health-related needs?
Absolutely. So there's no greater determinant of health than access to housing. Patients experiencing homelessness are some of our highest users of the system. Patients who have then been permanently housed have significant reductions in use of the emergency room and reductions in Latham's stay. Access to permanent housing is the greatest way to ensure successful health outcomes.
Thank you. Was the Emma Bowen Center involved in developing the plans for their facility, and will they have an opportunity to return?
Yes, Emma L. Bowen, we worked very closely with them to design space in their temporary facility to where they're moving, need to temporarily relocate. And then we worked very closely with them and our architects, connecting with them over several months to understand their programs, to tour sites, even aspirational for what they'd like to look like in order to return. So we work very closely with designing the space with them in order to meet their programmatic needs.
And then from your knowledge, are they supportive of this?
Yes, they are.
Project?
My understanding is they may even be providing a testimony today to discuss that support.
All right, thank you. Now I'll recognize any other council members that have a question for this panel.
I have a couple, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you. And did you just say that the community space will have a temporary space during construction?
That's right. So they've begun that move already temporarily because they'll need to leave the building in order for us to tear it down and build a new one.
Okay. And is there a reason why the spaces for the formerly homeless are all studios?
Yeah, it's typical. The nature of the supportive housing we're providing is for single adults, and so those requirements, government requirements, obviously from the city and state, are to provide a studio apartments for those single adults to live independently in supportive housing. So. Yeah.
And what's the breakdown or number of units specifically designated for a specific supportive purpose?
So that's 120 units.
For the homeless, but then
Formerly
you have some
homeless.
formerly
That's correct.
homeless.
Yes.
But then you have some for seniors, and then it says supportive for seniors. So like, what's,
Yeah. So of the 120 units that are supportive units, 95 will be 1515 through the city of New York, and then it's another 25. So 25 of the 120 are designated as senior supportive.
Got it. So it's the other remaining units that are for low income, not necessarily.
No, the breakdown is the 120 are all the supportive units. There are a
Okay.
total of 199 rental units in the building. So the other 79 are designated for the community. And as typical with HPD projects, those will go through the housing lottery.
Got it. And I know Chair had expressed some of Community Board 9's concerns. Were there any other concerns specifically that led them to vote against this project? And I know you mentioned some have been addressed, but what were those concerns?
So I don't want to speak for CB9 as to why they may have voted against this project, but the concerns that we have documented was that they felt that there was lack of transparency in the initial outreach process. They felt that the project needed to have more family-sized units, need for more deeply affordable units, which we have addressed, as I mentioned. They've asked for rezoned, denser development with more units, more details on supportive services, which we have provided to them, a preference for local hiring, and BRC is committed to local hiring, and that's our standard practice to go in and have job fairs, and questions about a seeker analysis, which HPD has also addressed.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up question to that. You mentioned that Community Board 9 wanted a denser building. What led to the 9-story building and not going higher than that?
So, since this site is not rezoning and we're using as heirs, which is a tool to kind of allow higher density. So, with that, it's already this project or this site is already maxing out that FAR under that heirs program. So.
I think you have to.
Would you please state your name raise your right hand and state your name for the record?
Hi, Joy Reeser, Director of Manhattan Planning at HPD.
Thank you. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this subcommittee?
I do.
And in answer to all council member questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi. So what Melanie is saying is correct. I just wanted to add a little bit more color. So this project is not seeking a rezoning because we've also worked, in addition to what Melanie was saying, we're maxing out FAR under the existing zoning on this site. We've worked with BRC, and alongside their expertise, they've said that 200 units is about what they're comfortable providing at the site. This is also a typical size for an SHLP project, and so that's part of the decision to keep it under the same zoning. In addition to that, the site is near historic districts right across the street, and we feel that the existing zoning is in context to those as well.
Thank you for that explanation. No further questions from council members. This panel may now be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, are there any members of the public who wish to testify on this item?
Yes, I have one member, so if you don't hear your name and you're here, just let us know.
We have Ernesto. I'm sorry, I can't read your last name. Vigoro. Ernesto Vigoro from Apex.
I'll wait for you to swear me in, I guess.
I know you may be good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for the members.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chair and Council member. My name is Ernesto Vigoro. I'm Chief of Community Development at Apex Building Group. We are an MBE certified general contractor, affordable housing developer, and we've been around for about 30 years. Our work has definitely been rooted in some of the communities where we come from. I myself was born in East Harlem and grew up in the South Bronx, right across the 145th Street Bridge. 145th Street in Amsterdam is a hub. It's a center point in the neighborhood, and we are delighted to be in support here, to speak in support of the project at 1727 Amsterdam Avenue. It is a neighborhood that we've done a lot of work at. We've worked at Audubon Bethune-Marshall. We have a beautiful new building that was just rehabbed with financing from Nycc. We've also done community work. The Brotherhood Sister Soul organization, we built their new headquarters. We're very much, which is now a youth, I'm sorry? Can you hear me? No? Okay. So as I was saying, the Brotherhood Sister Soul organization, BroSis as we call it locally in the community, it is now a Beacon Community Center. in the neighborhood for youth recreation activities, 5 stories with a rooftop basketball court. We are also have done work at right now renovating 5 buildings as part of the West Harlem Renaissance. Also at 141st Street near the project site. We support this project. BRC is a long-standing organization that's well respected. I come from 25 years in affordable housing development, working at Hogar, Communal Life, and Asian Americans for Equality, where I've held positions in housing development. So I can tell when an organization is truly committed to the work, and BRC represents that as a bona fide developer. So, in absolute support of the project.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We do have a few folks online. Isaac Alderstein, Lawrence Fowler, Joel Baum-Schwein, and Marcia Jean Charles.
You may begin.
Hi, am I to start?
Yeah, and I just want to remind members of the public that you'll be given 2 minutes to speak.
Terrific, thank you. Good morning, my name is Isaac Adlerstein, and I serve as the Executive Director of Broadway Community, a 44-year-old homeless service agency in Morningside Heights, which serves hundreds of our most vulnerable neighbors every day. Today I'm speaking in strong support of the redevelopment of 1727 Amsterdam. New York City, as we all know, is in the midst of a historic homelessness crisis. In November of 2025, over 101,000 people slept in shelters. Thousands more slept on the streets and in unsheltered public spaces. And more than 200,000 slept doubled up or were couch surfing. Over 80,000 of these neighbors were receiving care from the health and hospital system in 2024, with Harlem Hospital, which is in the district, providing care to over 5,000 people experiencing homelessness each year. Currently, 1747 is on the brink of being completely vacant. The Emma L. Bowen Community Center has begun its relocation, and the Heritage Health Center are in the process of relocating. Under the current development plan, 120 of our unhoused neighbors who frequent the health and hospital system will finally have a place to call home, with extensive wraparound services to ensure that they remain housed and stable. Approximately 80% or 80 additional units will be made available for people earning substantially below the area median income, many of them being senior citizens. In other words, the redevelopment will create 200 new homes that do not currently exist. Opponents of the plan have said that crime and disorder in the neighborhood would increase, that the planning process was not transparent from the start, and that 1747 should be upzoned. I'll quickly address each of these. First, on the idea that crime and disorder will increase, BRC is committed to being a good neighbor. It would be very hard pressed to find an organization that's better at running supportive housing than BRC. They will be working with people who have worked hard to get back on their feet and who are committed to upholding community standards. I also want to state that people experiencing homelessness are far more often the victims of crime than they are the perpetrators. The risk of them falling victim to violent crime is about 40 times higher than that of the general population. Second, on the point that the planning process was not
Time expired.
Okay.
Thank you for your testimony. Up next, we have Lawrence.
You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Lawrence Fowler. I serve as the Chief Operating Officer at the M.L. Bowen Community Service Center in Harlem, where I oversee daily operations, regulatory compliance, and the continuity of care for the thousands of New Yorkers who rely on our services each year. On behalf of our Board of Directors, staff, and children, families, adults, and seniors we serve, I thank the members of the subcommittee for the opportunity to speak about the future of our organization at 1727 Amsterdam Avenue. For nearly 4 decades, while operating as a tenant at this address, 1727 Amsterdam Avenue has represented far more than a building. It has been the anchor from which we have delivered healing, stability, recovery, and opportunity to generations of Harlem residents. Our presence there has been continuous, community-based, and deeply rooted in the evolving needs of this neighborhood. Today, Bowen provides comprehensive mental health, addiction treatment, and supportive services across the lifespan to clients in Harlem and throughout New York City. Our work includes infant and early childhood services that support families during the most critical developmental years, a therapeutic preschool for children with behavioral and developmental challenges, one of the few programs in New York City delivering these specialized services primarily to Black and Latino students who have historically faced barriers to accessing culturally responsive early childhood mental health care. Also, we provide a dynamic school-based program, one of only 2 programs within our broader wraparound continuum that operates outside of our primary facility, currently partnering with 6 Upper Manhattan schools to provide on-site counseling, crisis intervention, family engagement, and early identification services, supporting students' academic success and emotional well-being. We also have outpatient child and adolescent mental health services that offer individual, family, and group therapy, psychiatric evaluation, medication management, and early intervention support to help young people manage emotional, behavioral, and developmental challenges while strengthening family stability.
Time expired.
Thank you for your testimony. Up next, we have Joel Baum-Schwein.
You may begin.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Joelle Ballum-Schwan. I'm the Director of Programs and Engagement with the Supportive Housing Network of New York. We're a statewide membership and advocacy organization representing supportive housing providers, and collectively our members operate over 64,000 supportive units across the state, 42,000 in New York City. For those maybe unfamiliar, supportive housing is deeply affordable housing with on-site wraparound social services for individuals who have experienced homelessness and face additional barriers to achieving housing stability. Supportive housing restores and saves lives, and I'm here to express the network's strong support for BRC's Hilltop Apartments. This project would create 199 affordable homes, including 120 supportive housing apartments, and approximately 25% of all units would be set aside for older adults, which is a population that is experiencing homelessness at unprecedented rates. Supportive housing is the single most effective solution to homelessness for individuals and families with the greatest need, and shows extremely high housing retention rates. It also strengthens communities. Residences are well designed, well managed, subject to long-term oversight by multiple public and private agencies, 24/7 staffing, and strong security protocols. So it really enhances neighborhood safety and stability. In addition, it brings significant public investment into neighborhoods, generating temporary and permanent support. Employment opportunities. Hilltop Apartments alone would create 250 construction jobs, numerous permanent and full-time positions in case management, operations, and maintenance, with a commitment to hiring locally. This project comes in a moment of urgent need. New York City is facing dual homelessness and housing crisis, and BRC is a leading supportive housing provider with a strong and long-standing track record. They operate over 650 units of supportive housing across the city, and they consistently deliver high-quality housing and person-centered services, helping individuals achieve long-term stability and greater self-sufficiency. They are a trusted and valued partner in serving New York's most vulnerable residents. Hilltop Apartments represents an opportunity to provide life-changing
Time
housing,
expired.
great jobs, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Up next, we have Marcia Jean Charles.
You may begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Marcia Jean-Charles. I'm the Senior Organizing Strategist at the Brotherhood Sister Sol. And for over 30 years, the Brotherhood Sister Sol, or BROSIS as we call it, as you know, has been at the forefront of social justice, educating, organizing, and training to challenge inequity and champion opportunity for all. We focus on Black and Latinx young people, and we believe we're where young people claim the power of their history, identity, and community to build the future that they want to see. We understand that BRC will create 200 apartments in a new, attractive, energy-efficient building and provide comprehensive on-site services, and we support this endeavor. At BROSIS, we believe that supportive housing is a proven solution to homelessness. We are also in a neighborhood that is not new to supportive housing, and it has been well managed and integrated into the community, providing the supportive needs that can be great for our neighborhood and surrounding blocks. Supportive housing is about people. Gives individuals facing homelessness complex challenges a stable home and on-site services so they can rebuild their lives. And we support that. And lastly, communities that host supportive housing are often becoming stronger, and the long track record of supportive housing demonstrates that it works. Located at 512 143rd, we at BROSIS are happy to support the redevelopment of 1727 Amsterdam Avenue. And we believe that it will be phenomenal, affordable, and supportive housing to our community to meet the needs of unhoused users of the public health system in our community board or CB9 and other New York City residents. we think this is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. For anyone wishing to submit written testimony on the items being heard today, we ask that you please send an email to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov, including the LU number and or project name in the subject line of your email. If there are any remote public participants who wish to testify and have not already done so, please press the raise hand button now. And if you are here with us in person, please see one of the Sergeant of Arms to fill out a speaker card. There being no other members of the public who wish to testify regarding LU 35 for 1727 Amsterdam Avenue Hilltop Apartments, the public hearing is now closed and the item is laid over. That concludes today's business. I would like to thank members of the public, my colleagues, subcommittee council, land use staff, and the Sergeant at Arms for your participation today. The meeting is hereby adjourned.